Hey, welcome back. It's the Cry to Orloff Show. January, June, July 29th, 2022, in the year of our Lord. It's a Friday. As some of you may know, I guess around April, we moved from Grotuville up here to Mount Gratu. So we moved 10 hours away. I was living in Grotuville, which is also known by some people as Arlington, Texas. And then we moved all the way up to Iowa. Now, the house that I was living in, my parents bought that in the summer of 1976. Right as I was about to go into 6th grade. So that was my parents' house. I later inherited the house. My mom passed away. Yesterday was the anniversary of her passing in 2001, and then my father passed away in 2006. Now, those of you that have watched this channel for a while saw videos that I started the channel in that house. Now, the house, when we bought it, I thought as a kid it was a mansion. I thought it was wonderful, the house was pretty neat, kind of built in 1964. I didn't feel that accepted by the community, but then I probably wouldn't be accepted in any community with my interest in comic books and glasses that I wore then. Anyway, I wasn't that fond of the people and the schools that I went to. But anyway, that became home. The house backed up to an apartment complex. That apartment complex was just a bunch of retired senior citizens for decades, and then it became more of a sketchy place, and you'd sit in the backyard and you'd see bodies being taken down the stairs from apartment units. I don't know if they were overdoses or murders or what. And you'd hear shouting and fights coming from the apartments. It just got worse. There were people in there selling meth, and then all of a sudden on the telephone wire you'd see little, the drug dealers tie shoes, baby shoes, or no, they're just tennis shoes. And then they tie the shoelaces together and throw it up over a wire so that you can know, okay, this is a place where they sell drugs, that kind of thing. And then there was this guy that kept walking down the street shouting, I'm gonna fuck all of you better than anyone can fuck you, and just shouting. I don't know if there was something in his ears and he was just rapping along with some charming gospel song he was listening to in his ears, or if he was just making up this rap as he went down the street stumbling drunkenly, but that was rather unpleasant. And you start to realize more and more as you see things like that, it may be time to move. And so, and with things happening in the world and all the riots that happened a couple of summers ago, you realize, okay, so let's move to a community where there's no crime. So we looked around on Zillow and all the real estate apps and found a place with zero crime, a house that's gigantic, and we moved. Now, the house needed a lot of repair, so we sold it, and then we were able to buy this place just with cash, so we don't have a mortgage, and we paid off the existing. I think we still owed $20,000 on that house because I had taken out a home equity loan. But anyway, so 4 or 5 months have passed. I'm still unpacking. You watch me do that every day if you watch this show. But anyway, yesterday my wife and I are hanging out, and I look on my phone, and there's an app on the phone called Nextdoor, where people in a local community in a neighborhood can get on there and gripe about what's going on in their neighborhood, or talk about something's good that doesn't happen often, or I found this dog. Is anyone that kind of shit? But I see something about a house for sale at Larkspur and Jones, and it's like, that's our old house. And someone was talking about, these people that are trying to sell the house at Larkspur and Jones, do they know about the homeless man that's living out of his van that's parked next to the backyard or in the side of that house? And so apparently some homeless guy is just living there with his van doors open, probably pissing in the yard, and people are saying, but it's then the politically correct people are saying, well, that's a public street. What's the problem with him doing that? He's not hurting anyone. He said, well, he's asking people for money, and and the other thing I didn't mention is this house is now for sale, which I didn't realize. I knew they were going to fix the house up and resell it for a lot of money. But so we saw it was for sale, so we looked it up on Zillow, and they're selling our old house, the old Gratu International Building of Trade, for $474,000. So they're saying they're trying to sell this house for $474,000, but there's a homeless man living basically right in their backyard, and just on the other side of the fence, and so people were talking about it. Oh, they did a good job revamping it, whatever. So we looked at the pictures on Zillow. The inside of the house is unrecognizable. There was a room upstairs where I used to do my live streams from. They've divided that into 2 rooms, and so now it's got 5 bedrooms. And the thing is, I looked at the property tax for that house now that they've redone this. We were paying astronomical. That's part of the reason we were moving, is the property taxes were inching up to $5,000 a year. Maybe that seems low to you wherever you live, but that seemed insane to me. But the property tax now is over $11,000 for this house. It's now $500,000. They've opened up the back porch, made it more where you can see the apartment complex behind you, and they can see in, but to me, I don't like the style that they redid it in. I like that mid-century look, but I think most people would really like it. It looks like a modern apartment complex to me. There's not a single thing they left as it was in the house. Everything's different. Sometimes I really had to try to figure out, where's this in the house? It's so different. But anyway, so with the anniversary of my mother's passing, I was seeing the house completely changed, gutted and rechanged, walls taken out, all kinds of stuff. That should put me in a melancholy mood. With the fact that I, as a movie lover, realized that Hollywood is now a bunch of satanic scum, and I guess always has been. And the music today is crappy. I saw somebody on Facebook, they're going to be playing in Des Moines. It's someone named Dorothy, I think is her name. I think it's Dorothy. And she looked kind of goth, and I thought maybe this is some interesting new music, because I'm always hoping some new music will come along. And I played her music on YouTube. It's just, it's nothing. So I'm always hoping some new music will come along so I can turn on the radio and hear new music that's actually great. Instead, I listen to this old organ music just because there's nothing new for me. I don't exclusively listen to this. This is just for this show. But I listen to it more than my wife. She would appreciate it. I listen to less of it. But, comic books today are shitty. Movies today are shitty. television for the most part is shitty, although there are some good shows on television, I have to admit. But trying to find something without a political agenda, the government's shitty, it's embarrassing. It's just fucking embarrassing what's going on in Washington, D.C. So all I can do is look at old comic books and wait for the next Donald Trump rally, and exist in a bubble of the past where, and if something new comes along, I'm totally open to it. I'm not just. And another thing I was excited about was, wow, I never dreamed as a kid they would start making these superhero movies in my lifetime that are so great and somewhat true to the comics. When Iron Man started, and for a good 10 years, it seems like those Marvel movies are great. And then all of a sudden, they just veered into total shit. And it looks like they're staying that way for the foreseeable future. So that was another one of the few things that kept me going. Collecting comics, there's no place to buy comics. I can do it mail order, I guess, but somehow that's not as much fun as going into a comic store and the thrill of the hunt. And I could drive to Des Moines or someplace around to look at comics, but the price of gas has gone up so high. So I feel like everything wonderful about the world is just gone, And I've met wonderful friends here on YouTube, and that's one of the things that keeps me going, is communicating with you guys. It makes me want to do a show every day, and I'm probably overdoing them. People are telling me I'm doing too many shows. You really should only do about 2 a week, but it's like, that's how I communicate. I feel like I should start a Facebook group for comic collectors in this part of the state, so I can maybe network with people that are around here, and maybe we can trade or sell or swap comics in person. Or maybe they could tell me where the stores are, where the places are to look. Anyway, this is just me thinking about everything that was wonderful that's just no longer around. But it sure does ease the pain to look at these old comics. We were looking at Charlton comics yesterday, and then the memory on the phone gave out. So I think we were looking at For Lovers Only. Pretty sure. Yeah, I think we were looking at this comic here. For Lovers Only. She's dreaming about herself. It looks a little wrong until you realize, okay, that's her and a guy. It's 3 different occasions when they kissed. But, otherwise it looks like she's dreaming of an orgy, But that's not what they meant. Here's For Lovers. That was For Lovers Only, number 86. Here's 87. Now the registration, or whatever you call it's off, so it looks a little blurry because it's not lined up. I don't know if you can tell what I'm talking about. I'll try to get in close so you can see what I mean. Here's an older Charlton from the 10-cent era. So that would put this before 1961 or 62. Here's a reprint of Beyond. Why is it? I must have it here because I thought it said From Beyond the Grave, but it's not in the right alphabetical order. It's Beyond the Grave, so I need to put this under B, not F. It's Beyond the Grave number 2, and it's a comic from 1975 that was reprinted in 1977 using the Modern Comics logo. Oh, if you want to look at that house that's for sale that I used to live in, if you want, because you might know the house, if you used to watch the Gratu Orlov channel, you might know that house because I showed it all the time. Go to Zillow. It's 1701 Larkspur, Larkspur Drive, Arlington, Texas. Look that house up. You can see what it looks like now. Steve Ditko art. Look, this host is like a really degenerate looking guy. He's like a corpse, actually. When you think of horror hosts in comics, if you had to be one of them, which one would you be? You could put your answer down below. I mean, okay, so you got the Vault Keeper, the Crypt Keeper, and the Old Witch. Now, the Crypt Keeper in the old EC comics was not a rotting corpse like he was in the HBO show. But he still wasn't an attractive guy. Then you could, let's see, what else you got? You got House of Mystery, Kane, you got Abel. He was this big chunky guy for House of Secrets. And, it depends on if you're a guy or a girl. Probably of the horror host, maybe the coolest one would be Dr. Graves, but I don't think he wasn't a horror host, that he actually was the hero of the stories. Girls have it easier because there's some attractive girl horror host in these comics. Like in Charlton comics, there was kind of a mod witch. We'll find the comic here in a minute, because we're going through Charlton's. And then, of course, there was that blonde witch in The Witching Hour from DC. Yeah. And then Doorway to Nightmare, Madame Xanadu. All right. Ghostly Haunts, number 31. Echoes of the Spirit World. This is the Sewer Patrol. Look at that thing crawling in the sewer. Oh, yeah, here's what I was talking about. This girl here, the host of Ghostly Haunts, this is number 32. Damn, where's the price? Oh, there it is. Only 20 cents. Yeah. I always thought she was cute. Okay. Ouch. There's this tattoo artist that's pretty famous. They had a whole reality show about her. My wife likes her. Her name is Kat Von D. And, she's pretty enough tattoo artist, very talented, that is, covered in tattoos and lives in a, Gothic kind of mansion. Records music that's not very good. One time I was at a garage sale, I found a book written by her and it was autographed. I got it for like $1. That was a good day because my wife really liked that. But anyway, she apparently posted on Facebook that, I'm at a point in my life where I realize these books may look great on a shelf and look really cool, but I can't have these books in my house. I've got a child now, and I realize that the world is involved in a spiritual battle, and I just had to get rid of these books. And so she apparently got rid of all these Aleister Crowley and all these books on Satanism because, people collect these books because they think it looks cool, The people that get into that Satanism shit, which is most of Hollywood, but it's... and our politicians, it's just like I don't know. It's just for power. You know, it's a sense of power and anyway. She got rid of these books, and all these people below this was a post on Facebook my wife showed me, and all these people were super mad at her because she'd desecrated these books, because she'd made a sculpture out of some of the books where she'd carved the word read out of, and it was carved into the pages. She made a sculpture out of the pages of the book somehow, like a carving. People said that's wrong to do that to any book, and yeah, I think it's wrong to destroy books, but it is a spiritual battle we're involved in, guys. And you may not believe in God or Jesus or the devil, but unfortunately, there are people in positions of power that worship Moloch and these ancient beings, and apparently they always have. And our best interests are not their best interest. And read up on those Georgia Guidestones. Here's ghostly haunts. God, I hate these UPC codes. See, it looks so much better. Earlier comics before. See, that's ghostly haunts, and it's followed by ghostly tales. Without the UPC code, it looks so much better. Boy, she's got a tight-fitting outfit there, like a superhero outfit. Ghostly haunts number 54. There's another. Is that the same mod witch? Ghostly haunts. Yeah. No, wait. This ghostly tales should. I had ghost. They were out of order. Okay, ghostly haunts. Man, what's going on here? These are out of order. Wait, sewer patrol. Oh, I see. Oh, I see what happened. This Ghostly Tales has like a coffee stain or something up there. See it? Ghostly Tales. From Ghostly Tales from the Haunted House, I should say. The Thing in the Hole. Sounds like a title of a porno movie. Here's Ghostly Tales number 74. How'd you like to be that horror host? The House of Spiders. These are not in the proper order, though. 86, 111. Okay, that's 74. And then here's one of those real wordy covers. See, Ghostly Tales from the Haunted House. And he's really laying it on thick here. Do you believe in ghosts, eh? Well, come with me. Come into my parlor and let me spin you some yarns from my house, the Haunted House. As sure as my name is Mr. L. Dead, you'll never forget them. So come to a German command post in a graveyard. Meet the army of the dead. To ancient Rome, where you'll meet great Caesar's ghost. Then there's a trip to the bowels of the earth for a shocking, powerful tale and much, much more. Ready? This may be the first time this comic came out in the 1960s. I wonder if that may be the first time anyone's ever read all of that. What do you think? Someone must have read it. Maybe a dozen people. These are out of order, man. Ghostly Tales number 88 was 15 cents, and some moron wrote 15 cents. Oh, look at these hippies. And here we are making the weird scene featuring spider webs, flapping bats, and eerie squeaking rats. Really out of sight. Dig this crazy pad, Dad. I guess the more words that you put on the page, the less you have to draw. Maybe it's, I don't know. To me, it's easier to draw than to do the lettering. 86. Ghostly Tales. 86. Oh, that's 88. These are all out of order. What a nightmare. Oh, this one's great. From the 20-cent era, but somehow it looks older than that. This wonderful Steve Ditko cover. This is 93. Ghostly Tales 93. 11. Ghostly Tales 118. How about that? Let's see what we got here. Ghost Manor number 4. I want to look at this guy. You can get Spaceman strength and endurance. Maybe that'll affect me more later, thinking about the what they did to my parents' house, the house I grew up in, partially grew up in. My wife says, if I win the lottery, would you like me to buy that house back? And I was thinking, I said, well, why? And you win the lottery, we get a much cooler house. I said, I don't really have any, everything, every memory in that house has been gutted. Yeah, I mean, but it, you know, it'll stay in my memory. She's saying, but there's so many great restaurants around there, because it is true. There were great restaurants around in that town, and I could, like this book here. See that dot? That means I bought it at Duncanville Books, which was only about, I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from the house. But I sure don't miss, I don't miss the traffic. You know, there's not, this entire county, there's not a single stoplight. There's only stop signs. The traffic's not enough that they need stoplights. You know, and if the world erupts into whatever it could erupt into, I don't think that's going to happen here. I mean, if the Chinese army invades through Canada, I guess we're closer up to Canada, so that could be a problem. I know they're wanting farmland. We're surrounded by farmland. I can walk to just about anything I need to get to. The library, the supermarket, the movie theater, the hospital. Everything's within walking distance if something happens to the car. So this is Ghost Manor number 13. They want you to notice that it's issue 13. But it's safer here, less crime. But on the other hand, there's not as much to do. But you know, that's what I have to make my own entertainment. And I enjoy doing YouTube, but I'm wondering maybe I should switch to Rumble, or do both platforms. I wonder if there aren't many comic book channels on Rumble. Maybe the channel could grow bigger over there. So obviously I have 2 copies of number 13. Here's number 17, Ghost Manor. I gotta get more of these. Number 18. Damn. Ghost Manor number 11. Wait a second. Wasn't that 18? These aren't in the right order, are they? We better fix this. Okay, 4, 5, 13, 17. I don't even see a number on that. 18. So 11. Let's go back between 5 and 18. This is my childhood copy here of this one. It has kind of a painted cover, sort of painted. I don't know if that is that. Yeah, I guess that's paint. I think that's painted in acrylic. So that's number 19. What? Okay, they must have gone a while in between, because see, this is 18. This is a 15-cent comic, and then this is they must have brought it back in the 20-cent era. I think over a year or two, probably a couple of years passed between these two, or more than a couple of years, because I think this one is from like 1974, probably, is my memory of that. Here's Ghost Manor 68. The house that we lived in San Antonio in 3rd and 4th grade has been equally changed around. I've seen pictures of it when they were trying to sell that in San Antonio. Here's a cool one. It's Teen's Top Comic. Join the in crowd. We're so in, we're out. Look at that. Well, anyway, I got a mummy story in here. I got some interesting art in here. It's not necessarily, somebody kind of tried with this comic. It belonged to Jimmy. There's the Beatles. Got David McCallum. Ilya Kuryakin. But we're supposed to hate the Russians now, though. CNN said all Russians are bad. And if CNN says it, it has to be true. Ghost Manor. Ghost Manor. Ghost Manor. Ghostly Tales. Ghostly Tales. Oh, wow. Here's another copy of Go-Go. Paul Revere and the Raiders. See, I long to be there then, except I know even then horrible things were happening, despite the fact that there was wonderful music on the radio and TV shows and cartoons and comics were better in the 60s. the fucking government had us involved in Vietnam. Just, it never fucking ends. Paul Revere and the Raiders. The 1950s were probably the height of popular culture in America. In the 60s, especially right around the mid-60s, I guess around 66 was absolutely the height of the 60s, but it was a parody of the Monkees, the Monkees. But, the government always fucks things up. It's the, look at these penguins carrying a Charlton Comics sign. Yeah. Again, Paul Revere and the Raiders. I thought they were great. Someday people are going to realize how great Paul Revere and the Raiders were. Here's Gunfighters 66. This was a gift from Graphic Man. It's from May of 1981 because, look, it says May of 1981. See, that's what big-time comic collectors write their notes on the back. I'm going to start doing that. I promise. Hanna-Barbera Parade, number 4. This is my childhood copy. So all of these Hanna-Barbera Parades were comics I got as a kid. The most viewed video I've ever done, videos, I did a couple where I just talked about a mall I remembered from when I was a kid, called the Forum 303 Mall. And so many people have wonderful memories of this mall that's no longer there. They type it into YouTube, hoping someone will have some footage, film of the inside of the mall so they can remember it. And nobody does. And I guess they stumble upon my video that's in the title. I'm talking about the Forum 303 Mall. So it's had, 1,000, 2,000 views. And every so often, it's a couple of years ago, every so often, I think yesterday someone commented under the video, that, because I wrote about this bookstore I used to shop at in there, where I bought the first Star Wars, where I bought Famous Monsters of Filmland, where I bought, and this guy says, I used to work at that bookstore in 1981, so he probably rung me up while he probably was the checkout guy when I bought some of my comic books back then. And I talked about this wonderful cafeteria there called Piccadilly Cafeteria, and he says, yeah, I used to, my friend's dad was the manager. They used to hook me up with all this free food. And yeah. It's like everything's gone, man. All the wonderful things. Famous Monsters of Filmland, the Monster Times, Castle of Frankenstein. These things were so great. There's no more Saturday morning cartoons. There's, what's fucking left? What's good today? I like I said, I used to be able to say, well, those Marvel movies, well, no, not anymore. They have to destroy everything. Everything has to be destroyed. And all for their power. I'm just looking at the Flintstones. I don't know. All new Haunted. Earn Your Fortune, spelled U-R-N. This one, some little varmint had lunch on the corner of it. And, yeah, something was eaten up here, too. It's number 6. Haunted. Here's Haunted Love, Tales of Gothic Romance. Again, it's a modern comic which reprints older Charlton comics from 1971. What's going on here is Dark Shadows was a big hit on ABC. It was a soap opera, but it was a Gothic romance thing. And then about a year in, they introduced a vampire. And then they introduced a werewolf, and all these teenage girls and young women were gaga over the show and would rush home from junior high or high school to see it because it was on in the later afternoon, like around 3:30. I don't know. I was a kid. And of course, Gold Key had a Dark Shadows comic, but DC and Charlton thought, well, we'll capitalize on this Gothic romance trend. And DC had they would always put dark in the title, Dark Mansion, Forbidden Tales from the Dark Mansion, all that stuff. Well, here's a modern comics reprint of Hercules. Now, this is from 1968. Marvel had a Hercules. DC had a Hercules Unbound in the 60s. You can't copyright Hercules. Hercules was a demigod that was actually worshipped by people in ancient Greece and Rome. There was even a town, a city, Herculaneum, that was named after Hercules, and of course it was destroyed by a volcano eruption. This has quite nice art, and Charlton reprinted this over the years several times. That's number 10. Of course, Hercules became big around 1960 with the Steve Reeves Italian import. Here's issue 11, very 60s kind of style cover. And then later, Charlton Classics reprinted it, started reprinting the stories. Here's number 6. Look at this ad on the back. And then in the early 2000s, it was reprinted in a big, thick format. This wasn't, the art inside is black and white in this version. Wait, that's number 2, and this one is number 1. Okay, and that's the end of box number 1 of Charlton Comics. So, I don't still have the marker in my pocket. I do have a $20 bill, though. I'm going to go to a thrift store later today, and if there's still this 1920s print of Jesus, I'm going to get that. Jesus with a lamb, I'm going to buy that. Okay, so let's take this box upstairs and get another box of Charlton Comics. Where did I put my marker? And I'm losing everything. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Well, there aren't as many books in this box. I'm going to grab another box while I'm at it. Because earlier today I found a box I hadn't gone through. And I think it has some Charltons in it that need to be put into these boxes. My wife's been sick, and I've been a little sick. She doesn't have the word that you're probably not supposed to mention on YouTube, but she isn't feeling well. She's asleep right now. She'll text me if she needs anything, and I'll end the show very quickly, like immediately. Okay. Shit. I should be using the elevator, but that's up on I think that's up in the attic, the top level penthouse. Should be getting a package today of 100 DVD-Rs. I've run out of them. Oh, you know what? I ought to do an unboxing here of, I just realized several months ago, probably 4 months ago, was the last time we left town, and we went to, the closing for this house, and this town about 45 minutes from here has a Walmart, and I got this King Kong, and I wanted to open it up. It's getting hot in this porch, man. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a bitch to get this unboxed because they're gonna have it. I guarantee you, he's gonna be in here. These modern action figures are so hard to get out of the boxes. Yeah, that was a long time ago. But we need to go back to the Walmart and stock up. But you're supposed to keep the toys in the boxes because then it won't be valuable. Please. Ridiculous. Oh, he has two heads. Okay, he's not as bad as most. Oh, he's got an airplane too. Oh, this is the one I remember. Captain Strangelove unboxed one of these, well over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I remember watching him unbox this because I remember it had the little plane. Now, I have a King Kong that has the face painted all different colors, Basil Go-Go style. from the early 70s Famous Monsters cover painting. I have that one. I found that at a Target. Oh, and he's got there's a, oh, I see. That's pretty fucking cool. We'll be back to looking at Charlton comics momentarily. That really was weird, though, looking at those pictures of my childhood house all gussied up. Gussied up like a $2 whore. Yeah, but that's a good analogy. It seems like everything I loved as a kid that still survives today has been prostituted. It's a good metaphor. I thought of that song, My blood runs cold. My memory has just been sold. My angel is the centerfold, right? So, everything I loved as a kid, it's like all those comics I loved, well, they're now a perverted version of what they once were. How the fuck does... I think, as I recall, Captain Strangelove had a hard time making this guy stand. Yeah, this is not good. Okay, so I have to cut his shackles out. Things we have to do now to prevent people from shoplifting and all this shit. I guess you have to take his hands off in order to put the shackles on. Man, I don't know if I want to do that right now. Yeah, it's like, say you had a crush on some cute, innocent girl in second grade, and now someone tells you, you know, that girl you had a crush on in second grade, you know, she was in Hustler, or she was in a porno movie with 4 guys. And it's like, that's how I feel when I hear about what they're doing with these favorite comic book characters that I loved as a kid, and how they're perverting them and making everything woke. What happens to them is they get woke. What happens to us is we awaken. We awaken to their satanic agenda. Okay, I guess one of those other alternate hands are what helps grab this. They painted it to make it look like the propeller's going, which is kind of creative. Look at that. So, you have hours of fun with this. That's pretty fucking cool. The music shut off. The bastards at YouTube have shut the music off. The day the music died. I need to go hit a button. Well, I have these scissors out. I'm still unpacking things. This must have been wrapped by my mother-in-law. She was down there helping us when we were moving. This is perfect for a tiki bar, lounge, living room. There we go. Let's set this down over here. It's looking more. Okay, let's see what we got here. More Charlton. This is a 1950s high school confidential diary. Whenever I look at this comic, I remember buying this in Seguin, Texas. And I remember the day I bought it. We were in Seguin for my my mother's father's funeral or viewing. So this comic book was the first time, it was bought the day I saw a dead body for the first time, and he was so still. It was just. And this is May of 1975. So, anyway, so it was a couple of months before May of 75. Hot rods and racing cars featuring Clint Curtis and the Road Knights. They had a lot of hot rod comics. That was number. At this point, they didn't have the numbers on the cover, but here it says number 103. House of Yang. Interesting group of people. This guy, the girl, and a Elvis impersonator in the background. This is a Modern Comics reprint of House of Yang number 1. This was a reprint in 1977 of a 1975 comic. But it's part of the martial arts kung fu craze started by Bruce Lee. Here's my childhood copy of Huckleberry Hound number 8. Get into computer programming. Any 8 tapes or records, only $4. That's weird. Huckleberry Hound is going on a date. Fat Dan and Bobbin. I don't think those are Hanna-Barbera characters. Can you beat the Brain Buster? Computer Blackjack. Military men, your credit is good. Any item on this page, only $20 monthly. Genuine diamonds. I wonder how many women became engaged because their fiance got a ring from Huckleberry Hound comic book. Just, I was reading Huckleberry Hound, and I realized maybe I should propose to my sweetheart. January 72, so this came out probably around November of 71. We were living in Germany at the time. Here's I Love You, featuring a full figure poster of Susan Day inside. Now we gotta look at that poster of Susan Day, do we not? Crash diet, lose up to 5 pounds overnight. Overnight, man, they must, you could lose up to 5 pounds overnight if you, I don't know if it's nationwide. There were back in the old country, there was this restaurant called Pancho's. You ever heard of that? It's a Mexican restaurant, or Tex-Mex. I don't know if it's nationwide, but it's an all-you-can-eat Mexican restaurant, and sometimes it would make you very sick, and you might lose 5 pounds overnight. But it was funny. You'd sit there and eat. You'd go through a line like a cafeteria, and then you'd sit at the table, and there'd be a little Mexican flag, and you raise it up on a little pole on your table. And when it's raised, the waitress comes over and says, "What else would you like?" And she'd go back and get the items you asked for from the line and bring them to you. And you could just. My older brother Steve showed me just how much you could eat. He was in college, and I was, a fourth grader, probably sixth grader, actually. Yes, he was very impressive with his John Belushi style of eating. Here's the picture. It's not a photograph. In fact, it's incredibly bad drawing of Susan Day, and there's her authentic autograph. So how are they going to fuck up Christmas for us this year? Are we going to be locked down? We're in masks again? What are they going to do to us? What horrible nightmares await us? I start developing the attitude is how bad are they going to fuck up everything? It's going to be a Fantastic Four movie. Oh yeah, what are they going to do to fuck it up? What are they going to do to fuck it up? There's no way they could just do it right. That would be unthinkable. Jetsons 10. This is my childhood copy. Never finished high school? Now you can get a diploma without going back. They figure if you're an adult reading this comic, you probably didn't finish high school. But oh boy. Wonderful memories. Here's the super duper sandwich computer. Okay. They turned Judo Master into this weird little dwarf on the Peacemaker TV series. But that's how, as he appeared in the original comic book, this being a reprint from Modern Comics. This was a 1966 comic being reprinted in 1977, 11 years later. Star Wars, The Magic Power of Witchcraft. That's fucked up, this ad in a children's comic. I'd read it to you, but the print is so ridiculously small. Now enjoy a life of unbelievable riches, lasting love, and constant protection with the secrets in this startling witch book, The Magic Power of Witchcraft. Man. 1970s and late 60s, all that occult shit became popular, and that's probably when Hillary Clinton started sacrificing chickens to Moloch. She was the disgusting, smelly hippie with armpit hair back then. Judo Master. Another Modern Comics reprint of issue number 96. Man, this comic went on for a while. Shorted. And this is way ahead of the Kung Fu craze. This is in the 60s, when the Green Hornet went on the air in 67 with Bruce Lee. That was still, martial arts was still a kind of unusual thing. In fact, they didn't even, in the Bruce Lee Green Hornet Van Williams TV show, they didn't call it Kung Fu with a K, they called it Gung Fu with a G, which might be more authentic, but because it hadn't been solidified yet in our popular consciousness as Kung Fu, that wasn't until the early 70s that Kung Fu became a thing. Especially in inner city theaters at first, and then it exploded all over culture. Right down to that comic I just showed you, Hong Kong Phooey. Here's Jungle Jim. So, that's a very small woman. Comic book world. Where do I know that from? Conga number something. Here's Love Diary. Finish high school at home. Look at all the different romance comics that Charlton had out. Teenage Love, Hollywood Romances, Love Diary, Romantic Story, Teen Confessions, Time for Love, Sweethearts, Just Married, Secret Romance, I Love You, and Career Girl Romances. Dig the best. Now, honestly, that would be a great t-shirt. Just this image here, Dig the Best, with the Charlton logo in the center. That needs to be done. One of us needs to do that. I don't know if this ad was printed commonly in Charlton. If it wasn't, I'll do a color scan at some point of that so we can, in fact, I ought to take a picture of that. That should be the thumbnail. Yeah. I'm going to change the thumbnail for the last video to that. Dig the Best. Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. So this is Love Diary. That giant electric dollhouse. A lot of the girls that read Love Diary probably wanted the monster-sized Monsters posters, at least the cool ones. There might have been a few girls. Make love, not war. Excellent. This is from what year? March of 71. So that was out in January of 71. Love Diary. Free pinup poster of David Cassidy. So that's going to be just a bad drawing of him, just like the one of Susan Day. But I don't know. The artwork's so great. If whoever did this cover, he's a good artist. Look at that. Look at their hair on this girl. This cover's just great. We need to look at the inside of this. See, this cheers me up looking at these comics. Out of sight products. Send for them today. Look. Hard to believe David Cassidy's dead, and There's only one of the Monkees still alive. Yeah, here's the David Cassidy poster. Tony Dow passed away 2 days ago. What the hell is that? Love will never come. Damn. Love Diary 89. Oh, back to horror. The Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves. This is the first issue. I love these statues. And he just happens to be holding a shrunken head. Lots of text here on the cover. I've seen a few EC science fiction comics that are text heavy like that on the cover. Let's see what Dr. Graves is saying to us. Come in, don't be afraid. Come into my den and sit down. Graves is the name, Dr. M.T. Graves. You may read my books you may have read my books or seen me on TV. I've something of a reputation as a ghostbuster. True, I have proven many a ghost to be a fraud, a special effect. I have uncovered many a plot to frighten or exploit an unwary victim. And I shall tell you some of these stories, but what of the dozens of cases I couldn't solve, the ones that got away? These are the real tales of suspense and shock, mystery and dread that I want to tell. So relax if you can, pay no mind to any screams or moans, just listen with your shell-like ears to the tales of the Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves. Let's take a look at this comic. This funny book. I love this ad. Okay. Volume 1, Number 1 from 1967. Editor Dick Giordano. Sure enough. Charlton Building, Derby, Connecticut. They had their own building, huh? Look at this cool ad. All right. How about that? How about this one? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's cool. Ghostly Tales from the Haunted House. Sure enough. Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves. Then here's a Modern Comics reprint of issue 12. It's kind of like, Steve Ditko created Doctor Strange. And then, that was pulled away from him. He quit Marvel. And so it's kind of like this is his attempt to create a new Doctor Strange. This is originally from 1968. Again, all these Modern Comics were reprinted in 77. So he's doing Doctor Strange kind of stuff. Here's number 14. Here's number 17. Until this very moment, Fred and Cleo Dawes had no inkling that there was anything different about the old house which they've just bought. The apparition you see here has no intention of permitting them to move in. Out, get out, or I'll kill you. But Fred, make it go away. Look out. Now, do you know why? Another Modern Comics reprint of issue number 25. They would just reprint random issues. Probably ones that they could find the original artwork to in their files. Sometimes in Charlton offices they would take the original artwork, and so people didn't get mud on the carpet when they came in from the street, they'd put the original art out as a mat so people could wipe their feet on it. This must be these issues must be the ones where the original art survived. This is the first copy I ever bought of the Mini Ghost of Dr. Graves, number 41, when I was like probably third grade, I bet. So this is my first exposure to the Mini Ghosts of Dr. Graves. That was 41. Here's 49. This has got a weird, it reminds me of that moon monster that you could get a poster of. See, Kung Fu and Karate. By this point in the 70s, Kung Fu and Karate was cool, and all the devil stuff was cool because of The Exorcist. Number 61. This one I bought as a kid too. 62. Here's Midnight Tales number 12. Also a Modern Comics reprint. Monster Hunters number 7. Here's Monster Hunters number 12. Here's number 15. Oh, here's a Modern Comics reprint of number 2. I like the sticker from Kmart or whatever discount store was selling 6 of these Modern Comics for $1. Here's My Only Love, number 1. Keep away from me, Ed. You've had your chance, and now I don't want you near me. How about that? Here's My Secret Life. Win 2 round trips. Fly TWA to Disneyland or New York, plus many other great prizes. Now, Mysteries of Unexplored Worlds, featuring Son of Vulcan. Marvel had Journey into Mystery. They had Mysteries of Unexplored Worlds. Journey into Mystery featuring the mighty Thor. They have Mysteries, they got the word mystery in there, of Unexplored Worlds featuring Son of Vulcan. So, look, here's the Son of Vulcan. He's not a ripoff of Thor at all. And this is Tony Tallarico, my arch nemesis. I'm pretty sure that's Tony Tallarico's art. And he's trying to imitate the Marvel house style there. Let's take a look at this Silver Age attempt to ape Thor. I like the ad on the back. It's penciled by Bill Fraccio, but it's inked indeed by Tony Tallarico, who some people hate Rob Liefeld, some people, Graphic Man is not keen on Gil Kane. I love Gil Kane. Rob Liefeld is, I agree with him on that. But Tony Tallarico is, not too good. Yeah, oh, look at this house ad. The greatest action heroes of all time: Captain Atom, Blue Beetle, Sarge Steel, Private Detective, The Fightin' Five, Jungle Tales of Tarzan. That was done unauthorized. They didn't have permission from Edgar Rice Burroughs to do the Tarzan comic. They were shut down by that. A few years ago, there was a hardcover book that came out that reprinted these unauthorized Tarzan stories from Charlton. But they're adding Vulcan, Son of Vulcan rather, to the lineup of heroes. So, how about that? What would you say? This is from about 1966. Let's look. Oh, I was wrong. This is issue number 47 from July of 1965. Look at that Browning down there. Oh, well. I don't know if this is the first appearance of Son of Vulcan. I can find out later. As if it really matters, but I'll find out later. Mysterious Suspense. Return of the Question. Now, I'm sure all of you watching this know that DC bought the rights to all these Charlton heroes, and that when The Watchmen was first being proposed, it was going to be all the Charlton characters. And then DC realized, no, we don't want to fuck up the Charlton heroes and have them, do all these weird things to them. So they changed them slightly, but this character here became Rorschach, and Captain Atom became Dr. Manhattan, and just like that, Blue Beetle became Night Owl. Anyway, you know all that shit. Outer Space. I was showing this on Graphic Man the other night. It looks like this might have started as a Flash Gordon cover, and then they lost the rights to Flash Gordon, and they just changed the art a little bit, because you just erase a few lines, and you could make that Flash Gordon really easily, and you could turn the menacing bad guy in the background could be turned into Ming the Merciless if you just change the hair and put a Fu Manchu mustache on him, whatever. Shit, I want to look at the inside of Outer Space #1. That got me interested. Where'd Drew go? Oh, there she is. Drew, my wonderful dog, is here with us in the room, being very nice today. The ugly Earthlings. The planet which had everything, almost. Look, you can defend yourself with Katsujo, lightning, jujitsu, judo, or you could just hypnotize people. You could become an all-out superhero. There's some Steve Ditko art. He was all over these Charlton comics. Outer Space. So that would bring us to Outlaws of the West, number 79. Again, a Modern Comics reprint. And Charlton got the rights to do a Partridge Family comic book. And Modern Comics reprinted the first issue of the Peacemaker. This isn't his first appearance. He first appeared in the Fightin' Five, but this is his first solo appearance. This was going up in value. The TV show, I don't know if it caused this to go up more in value. Even as a reprint, I don't know. Here's Peacemaker 2, which was being sold for $15 just a couple of years ago at Duncanville Books. But I believe this was a half. I think the red dot means it's half price, so I got this for $7.50 before the TV show. And here's and Modern Comics also reprinted number 2, so you can see the way it's changed. And then here's Peacemaker number 5. Here's Teenage Pebbles and Bam Bam, number 9, which I file under P. I could just as easily file it under F with the Flintstones comics, but I file it under P. I always loved the bone and the hair, and the red hair and the bare feet. I don't want to get too creepy about it. Some of us get real creepy about the good girl art on here. Number 4, Primus, which I've never seen this show. I wonder if there's episodes available on YouTube. But it came from Ivan Tors, and I think Ivan Tors, didn't he make Twonky, the movie about the TV set that was an alien that was alive? That's a name that I know from somewhere. But he did a TV series, Primus, that I've never seen, but I know it exists because these Charlton comics were made from it. It's one of those shows that nobody remembers, like Star Lost or something. Scary Tales, number 25. The Vampire's Bride. Look at this horror host. They had some cool-looking girl horror hosts in these Charlton comics. Sure did. Here's Secret Agent, number 10. The Iron Man with the Steel Fist, Sarge Steel. This is their attempt to do a James Bond type comic. I've got 2 copies of it. I think this is pretty common. I think this might have been the first comic that Eric Breen to someone with, on 4-Color Fossils. We call it braining someone because someone will show a comic, and then Eric Breen has this vast array of comics just like right in front of him, and he'll say, "Oh, I have one of those too." And it's like it's like every episode he'll we call it braining someone. He'll show, "Oh, here's my copy of what you just showed." And so it's become a new adjective. Since we changed the definition of the word recession, and maybe we can add the word brain to the dictionary as an adjective, meaning showing the same cover of a comic book that you just showed. It's Secret Romance number 11, but you've got to watch the 4-Color Fossils on the Graphic Man channel every Wednesday night to understand all the inside jokes that I'm making. Secret Romance number 12. It looks like they're filming a movie and they're falling in love on the set of the movie. How about that? Yeah, she's a movie star or something. Are your children ashamed that you never finished high school and are reading secret romance Charlton comic books? Well, imagine your mom's waiting to pick you up from school and she's reading Charlton comics in the car waiting to pick you up. I'm so embarrassed. Now there's a fantastically fast and sure hip, thigh, and waistline reducer. The miraculous new sauna shorts, guaranteed to take 3 to 6 inches off your hips, thighs, and waistline in just 1 week, or your money refunded. How about that? How about that? You can get a love light. Wow. The Lost World of the Past. Secret Romance, number 13. Here's, I bought this when I first moved to Arlington, Texas. The $6 Million Man, number 2, with the Neil Adams cover. Voodoo cover. Soap Opera Love, number 3. You don't often see a couple in bed on the cover of a children's comic book, but now you have. You know, the first couple to be shown in bed together on TV was the Munsters, Herman and Lily. Remember, I Love Lucy, they had separate beds, you know, all until the Munsters. That was the show that broke ground. Beautiful color on the cover of Space Adventures number 4. How about that? Here's Space Adventures number 10. Reprints of Captain Atom. I remember buying this at 7-Eleven, I think. Yeah. The 7-Eleven by my old house that just got altered. August of 78, but it's reprints from 57, 60, and 61 of Captain Atom. There's the Kiss pendant. Kiss wants you to send them money. Here's 2 copies of Space Adventures number 11. How about that? Incredible, huh? I bet you never thought you'd see 2 copies of Space Adventures number 11 together at the same time. This highly valuable key issue. I'm going to send those both off to CGC. Here's Space War number 29. War is there because Star Wars had just come out, and you know how that goes. Space War 30. They want to sell comics, and these are reprints, but it's great. Yeah, from 1958, 59, and 1973. This is probably the one they reprinted from 73. That's the E-Man artist. Space War number 31. Back issues of Space 1999 magazine. The Adventures of Grit Boy. If you just sell Grit, the newspaper everyone loves, and you can be rich. That's how Elon Musk started selling Grit. Strange Suspense Stories number 8. He's back. The Mysterious Traveler. Mysterious Traveler was an old-time radio show. And he would host the show and kind of tell you the stories of horror things he'd seen during, his travels. He was kind of this mysterious shadow, kind of phantom stranger kind of guy. Yeah, you can look up The Mysterious Traveler, Old Time Radio. Here are over 100 ready-to-use mystic chants for money, power, and love. Okay, so that's... who's doing that? Island Park Book Company. Scores of people, just like yourself, have relied on mystic chants to get what they want from life. I can read, my eyes are having trouble focusing. Before you think I'm an illiterate idiot. The print was tiny. Teenage Love, number 63. Pretty great. We need to look at the inside of this one. Yeah, it's the 1960s. Look at these wigs you could buy. We're not too young, darling. Looks like she's kissing Mike Nesmith there. Kicksville Revisited. Pretty amazing. Yeah, there he is. There's Mike Nesmith. Mike Nesmith's mother invented liquid paper, but you probably already know that. All right. Teen Confessions, number 65. Teen Confessions 67. Wait, what was that? God damn it, I wanted to take a picture. What was that? It was a love comic that said... I'll have to replay this tape to find the one that had that Dig the Best, Charlton Comics. I gotta take a picture of that. Here's Thunderbolt, Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt. I don't like the lettering doesn't look hand done, but it's a good cover. That was number, doesn't tell you the number. Here's a reprint of number 58 from Modern Comics. Here's Timmy the Timid Ghost. Guess what comic this is imitating? I'll give you 3 guesses. This one was a gift, an act of kindness from Captain Strangeliffe. This is a giveaway from a shoe store. Bluebird Shoes presents Timmy the Timid Ghost. And they have other heroes like Black Fury and whatever his name is, and because they got cut off at the bottom. This Dennis the Menace imitation, Freddy and Archie imitation, and Masked Rider, a Lone Ranger imitation. So, and he's a Casper imitation. And there he is, the Casper imitation. Here's one from RS Shoe Store, also from Captain Strangeliffe. That says, missing page, first 2 pages, Revolutionary Soldiers set, and learn to play guitar ad, bonus book. Yeah, he has all kinds of notes on the back. It's got Wyatt Earp. Oh, it's Little Genius instead of Dennis the Menace, and that's Atomic Mouse instead of Mighty Mouse. Here's Top Cat number 9. Top Cat number 10. TV Teens presents Mopsy number 9. Some moisture damage at the top, but it's such a great cover. Underdog is punching him right out of his clothes. But they don't want you to see the penis of Simon Bar Sinister censored, because that would be even worse than seeing Hunter Biden naked. Too much of that. Unusual Tales. Unusual Tales. Here they have an adaptation of Valley of the Dinosaurs in the 1974 television season, or was it 73? I don't know if it's 73 or 74. I think it was 74 when Land of the Lost was a live action show, and then on the other channel there was Valley of the Dinosaurs, which was an animated show. I always watched Land of the Lost. I never really watched Valley of the Dinosaurs because there must have been something else on one of the other channels that I watched instead. Because back then you had 3-4 channels, and you didn't have VCRs yet, so you picked out the best show and watched it. War Heroes, or what you thought was the best show. Okay, another Modern Comics reprint, World of Wheels. They had tons of these motorized type comics, hot rods, motorcycles, and they had tons of the westerns, and they had tons of ghost comics, and they had tons of romance comics. They really cranked out a lot of comics at Charlton. Wyatt Earp. Not a particularly high-grade copy, but it presents well. And having said that, it is what it is. And but yeah, it is what it is. And Charlton Comics give you more. More what? More headaches? More yellow pages? Yogi Bear. This was a childhood copy. It still is. And the last Charlton comic I've got, I mean, there's other ones in these boxes, but this is where I'm trying to put them all together, is Summer Fun. And it's got a special comic coloring section. Let's see if I colored. Here's the coloring pages in here. I think I remember that I actually colored in some of this because I had this as a kid, but maybe not. Oh yeah, look, I was guilty, but I stayed in the lines mostly. But you know, this is something I did as a kid, and I know it's a highly valuable, sought-after key issue now, so it's sacrilege. You know, this is actually worth more than Amazing Fantasy 15 because of this Polaris nuclear sub ad, and it's the first appearance of. I'll show you. It's the first appearance. Where the fuck is it? Look how tiny these ads are. That's pretty great. The recreation of the 1972 Andes plane crash and the survivor scenes. Oh, my brother. It's first appearance of this guy, Klaus Schwab. That's a young Klaus Schwab. They drew him in there as a joke. My brother got a hold of this. Look at that. With an ink pen. There's what is it saying? Colonel, the Indians are restless again. Someone saying up in Jane Jetson's hair. And over on the little strand of hair coming up from George Jetson, it says, "Me send 'em smoke signals. Do we start 'em forest fire?" My brother is being politically incorrect. See, there's I guess an Indian flea that's starting smoke up. How about that? Yes. So that's the Charltons, but there's more Charltons, and I saw a couple of Charltons in this box that I need to get out of here. Let's see. These are some beat up comics. Here's Where Monsters Dwell, number 5. One time someone sold it for 5 cents. It's got some damage, but it presents well. Nah, I mean it's in shitty condition. But I can still read it, and so this is not in good shape. Let's see what else is in this box. This is a box of beat up comics. Marvel Premiere Iron Fist number 19. This one's not as bad as most of them in the box. I don't know. Is this a key issue? Am I a key issue yet? I don't know. It's not his first appearance. So that's the only one that matters, right? Here's a DC love comic. It's all fucked up. If I had a press, I could probably fix that. These were not fucked up by me. I came across this big stash of comics and most of these have been chewed on. But here's the Charlton Hollywood Romances. I need to get that into the box. Yeah, see, it's got damage at the bottom. Let's see. Blues. This is a cool ad. Look, this is. Yeah, these Charltons. This was probably stored in an attic or something, and that's what happened. Charlton did not use high quality paper. The Charltons have to be stored just right, or they get real toasty. Hollywood does that fit in this box? H. Yeah, it would, because this box starts. Let's see, Hong Kong Phooey, House of Yang, UW, Hollywood Cardboard Romance. I'm sorry, Hollywood Cardboard Romance. It's Hollywood. They have the title of the story right in the middle. Cardboard Casanova. Okay, that goes there. I know I saw another Charlton in this box, though. Yeah, these are all kind of books that have been eaten by bugs. I have another good copy of this, but these are just I got these like for nothing, basically. Come on, I know there was another one. Let's see here. A lot of Ghost Riders in here. Dazzler. Yeesh. Oh, here's one. Terrible condition. Here's, again, I have better quality copies of these, and I'm not responsible for this condition. These are how they came to me. Shanna the She-Devil. Yeah, that's bad, man. Eesh. Fucking crap. Yeah, these are all chewed on, man. Someone had lunch. Yeesh, yeah. These were going to be thrown away, and I said, hey, I'll take them. Yeah, see, it's gotten chewed up there. I have this one upstairs. Yeah, you don't want to see fucking comics chewed up. This one is Outlaws of the West. The cover is not attached. See, it's real toasty. I love it, but I'll put it in with the Charlton.
Out here in the West, people take their driving a beat. That's why thousands of you every day are driving into the sign of the blue and white wheelship.
Oh, here's All-Star Squadron number 11. I love All-Star Squadron.
The famous 100-octane fuel that delivers top power and performance for up to 10% less a gallon.
Here's Micronauts 45.
100-octane costs you less at wheelship. Meet up with the fastest growing brand in the West at your nearby independent Wilshire dealers. Come in today.
I love this blood-curdling vampire bat ad. Yeah, so you know, the Charlton comics existed, and then meanwhile the Marvel comics look like this inside. So, you know, and they just, even in this eaten version, the covers feel slicker, and it just usually Charlton is something you got because everything else on the stand you already had. This computer setup he's got. I really like this corgi ad. I used to think that was pronounced corgi, and I didn't know because I'd never heard it pronounced. I didn't know it was a dog. I just knew it was a line of cars, little toy cars from England, and I said that brand name once. I think I was talking about my corgi Batmobile, and this British girl that I was friends with just laughed at me scornfully, very meanly, and she said, "That's pronounced this other way," like I was a complete moron. But you know, they say never make fun of people that mispronounce words because it means they learned those words from reading. They didn't learn it from hearing it. They were reading it and they sounded it out in their head. And so, anyway, so, and that's the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. So you saw my Charlton comics that I know of. I might have more. I will hopefully get more soon. I don't know when. There's no telling, man. Oh, I gotta get rid of this bag. See, this is a horrible looking bag. It's World's Finest number 257 from when they brought comics up to $1 during the inflation of the 1970s, but they tried to give you a thick comic to make it worth your while. Just didn't work. Kids stopped buying them, I guess. They didn't sell. But it's World's Finest. What else? Well, what can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? It's been a wonderful episode. I'm glad you stopped by. See you later.